Welcome everyone. This is Molly and we'll get started in just a couple of minutes. We are recording, so I am muting all participants as they come online, and at the end I will unmute everyone so we can have an open question and answer session. So we'll be starting just shortly. Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're at, everyone. Welcome to our second edition of FAS Live. Today we are going to be covering FAS Mobile, all things FAS Mobile. I'm going to bring you up so I can see what you're looking at.
Nobody's there yet.
We're early, and it's 11:31.
Well, it looks to me like they're talking.
Good afternoon. Actually, morning in some cases for some people. So I am going to mute everyone that has joined the call, and we're going to get started. All right, just double checking sound. Jan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute you, and we'll get started. Okay, welcome everyone. This is our second FAS Live, and we are going to be talking about FAS Mobile today. So just to let everybody know, if you are just joining, I am going to mute people as they join, mute their sound so that we don't have any interruption with background noise to our presentation for those listening in. And then at the end, I will unmute everyone and we'll have an open question and answer. All right, so just to talk a little bit about FAS Mobile. What is FAS Mobile and why did we create it? FAS Mobile is a mobile-enhanced hybrid web application for use on mobile devices to record on-farm information in a digital format. FAS Mobile can be accessed from the browser app on any mobile device by entering fasmobile.com in the address bar of the browser application. FAS Mobile is not an app that needs to be downloaded or updated from the App Store. Why did we create it? FAS Mobile was created to capture information electronically from the farm, to reduce lost information due to lost papers, faxes, and messages, reduce errors related to retyping information or misinterpretation of information in handwritten or verbal communications, and improve timeliness of information through real-time information capture and display. A lot of people ask us, does anybody really use FAS Mobile? You bet they do. This is a chart of FAS Mobile usage since its inception back in 2012. And as you can see, over the last few years, we have had a steep and steady increase to an average currently of over 8,000 mobile events being submitted each week through FAS Mobile. Sorry about that. What kind of events get submitted through FAS Mobile? The most frequent type of event that gets submitted through FAS Mobile is feed orders. That's the #1 use of FAS Mobile. But right behind that, and charging up in its percentage, is recording of animal inventory changes such as animal mortality events and movements that impact the number of animals remaining on site. All right. So to access FAS Mobile, we need to know what we need for information. Sorry about that. So to access FAS Mobile, you need to have a login set up for you in the FAS install. So how do I access FAS Mobile? You contact the FAS client that you are working with and ask them to set you up some login credentials. They will provide you with a password. When you access FAS Mobile, you again open your browser application and type in fasmobile.com. And if you bear with me, I'm going to switch over to a live screen to show you that. Okay. So you open a browser application on your mobile device, and you're going to type in fasmobile.com in the address bar, and you'll be presented with the login screen. Your login credentials are your mobile number that you provided the FAS client and the password that they provided back to you. So for example, I'm just going to put in a fake phone number here that I have set up and click continue. And you do have to have it the right number of numbers. All right, and then the password that they give you will be typed into the password field. And then you click login. When you first get into FAS Mobile, the first thing that you're going to notice is the top area of the screen and then the list of farms that you have access to. So the FAS client provides you with the specific farm or farms that you are allowed to have access to seeing information for and recording information for. So you don't have to filter through every farm from an FAS client. You'll just only have to work with the ones that pertain to you. To navigate around in FAS Mobile, there are certain touch points that you will touch on to go to specific areas of the system. The first one to bring your attention to is this home icon. No matter where you're at in FAS Mobile, touching on the home icon brings you back to this home screen and back to the same starting place. Over here on the right-hand side, and always on the right side of the page you will find, is the menu navigation areas. This top menu, represented by these three bars, is the main menu in FAS Mobile. In the main menu, there are various areas where you can customize how information is displayed in your display of FAS Mobile. There are also some key reports, such as Search My Mobile Events, a scheduled sales report, and an alerts report that you can use to search for additional information at a high level within FAS Mobile. For example, if I go into Search My Mobile Events and I want to search for the last feed order that I placed, I can go in and select that type of transaction, or I can leave it to all events, and then search for completed transactions. So here are the completed transactions that I submitted from this particular profile and that have been completed by being processed in the office. And a little bit later, we'll show you that. I can even click on those events and get the complete detail of that event that was submitted and processed. If I don't see an event here that I believe I have sent in, it is probably a pending event that the office has not processed yet. So I'm going to go back and search pending events, and sure enough, here's a feed order that I sent in that has not been processed by the office yet. So therefore, it is a pending event. That is the most frequently used menu option under the main menu. Now, if I had a list of numerous farms that I was allowed to see in FAS Mobile, I could search for the farms using this Filter Farms by Name field by simply typing in the name of the farm. And notice that I only had to type the first few characters and it found the farm that matched. So it is a quick search box. Next, we will go to the farm and group menu ribbons. When you select the farm, and I'm just going to go back to the home screen here to show you that. When I select a farm, when I touch on a farm, I now see a three-dot icon over here that represents the farm level menu. When I touch on that menu icon, the farm menu ribbon populates into the screen for me. Depending on the size of my display, I may not see all of these options. And if my display is fairly small, I may have to swipe right or left to move this ribbon and see all of the options. At the farm menu level, there are specific pieces of information that can be recorded. Inventory with a bin icon is the area of the system where the user can record farm bin inventory information to submit to the office. Deliveries is the area where the user can confirm delivery of feed orders. Reports is an area we'll come back to in just a second that has various reports of information at the farm level that the mobile user can see. Survey is where the user can go in to submit survey information back to the office. Surveys are electronic forms that are used for collecting all kinds of information from barn environmental information to employee vacation. It's a wide open application that can be used to collect any type of information from the farm. The contact icon on the farm menu ribbon provides us with contact information if it's populated for that specific farm. In this case, the contact is Jen Sibbett, but her contact information has not been provided other than the address of the farm. When we touch on a barn, we now have a barn menu icon that is available in FAS Mobile. In the barn level menu ribbon, there are some additional options such as feed, and we'll come back to this. This is where you go to record a feed order. Inventory is where the farm user would go to record a change in animal inventory. Treatments is where they can record a treatment, whether that's a water-soluble or an injectable or some sort of environmental treatment that was done on the farm. Again, we have reports at the barn level, and then we also have the ability to submit survey from the barn level. So let's take a look at how to place a feed order. Since that's the #1 use for the FAS mobile application, let's take a look at that. So I have selected a barn, and I'm going to just go ahead and select that I want to order feed. When I do that, the bins that are associated to the animals in that barn are displayed with a slide bar. The name of the bin is displayed as well as the capacity of the bin, and by default, the last delivery date of the last feed order for that bin is also displayed. To order feed for that particular bin, and I'm just going to say I don't need anything for bin 1, but my bin 2 is empty, so I want to just slide the bar all the way over to say I need 24,000 pounds of feed in bin 2. I didn't have to type anything. That reduces errors. It was quick and easy to just grab the slider bar and slide it to the desired quantity. Next, I will click Continue. This is my order review area where it displays the bin that I have ordered for, or bins if there was more than one, the delivery date of the order, and the quantity of the order. By default, the delivery date will default in using a default delivery window set for the mill that is the feed provider for this particular farm by the FAS client. So in this case, the default delivery window is set to one day. So the delivery date for my order defaults to April 19th. But I don't need that feed tomorrow. I really don't need it until Friday. So I'm going to edit this order by clicking on the pen and paper icon. In here, I can change my delivery date to Friday's date. Now notice I cannot select Saturday or Sunday. Again, in the FAS install, the particular vendor that services this farm does not do business on Saturday and Sunday as a regular business day. Therefore, those days are blacked out in the blackout date settings for the vendor so that I cannot select to request delivery on one of those days. I may need to add a note to the order to communicate to the order desk and or to the feed mill about something about the delivery. I need this order first thing in the morning. All right, once I'm done editing that, I'll select Save, and it brings me back to the review so I can see what is going to be submitted when I submit that order. I am satisfied with the order, so I'm going to go ahead and click Submit. As soon as I receive this green message that says that we have received your feed order, thank you, and the success message at the top, that means that the office can now see my order in FAS. If I don't see a green success message, my order submission or mobile submission did not go through. So every time I submit an event from FAS Mobile, I'm going to be looking for that green success message page. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to record a mortality. That is the second most widely recorded event. So again, I know that I'm just going to come back to the home screen. I know that I had one dead animal that I pulled out of Barn 2 at Farm 100. So I'm going to select Barn 2, select the menu icon, and select Inventory. This is where I'm going to designate what type of animal inventory change there was. In this case, it was a dead. And then I can submit a specific piece of information about that dead event. In this case, it was a non-treated pig. The date commonly will default as the current date, but I am submitting this today for a pig that I brought out of the barn last night when I did chores, so I'm going to go ahead and change that back to yesterday's date. I had one animal that was dead when I toured last night. Notice that we do display the current inventory of the group. If I, for some reason, was mistaken and attempted to submit a value that exceeds that inventory, I will be warned and my submission will not be allowed to proceed. And then this is an area where, again, I can add a comment or a note about the mortality or the event. So if I click Submit, it's not going to let me submit that event that exceeds the current inventory of the group. Again, I got the green success message to let me know that my event was successfully submitted. Let's talk about reports for a moment. If we come back and we look at our farm level menu, let's take a look at what reports are available here. At the farm level menu, we have a scheduled sales report, view my events for this farm, order history, survey report, and treatment report. Scheduled sales report is a way that I can see what market loads are scheduled to be pulled from my barns or my farms that I manage if the FAS client is entering that information into FAS. In this case, there are no scheduled sales found for this particular farm, so it tells me no records found. When I want to view my events for the farm, this is a way that I can go in at the farm level to see the events that I have submitted for this farm. The key thing to remember here is that the difference between this report and the one under the main icon, the main menu icon, is that this is only going to return events for this particular farm. This is also only going to return events that I submitted through my user login. So if I have a second person that is touring at this farm and submitting events for this farm, I'm only going to see my events for this farm on this report. Order history allows me to see the history of all of the feed orders for this particular barn. It loads the last 10 orders by default, but at the bottom of the screen, I can select to load more so that I can look even further back in the history. While I'm here, I'm also able to confirm delivery of an order by simply checking the check boxes next to the orders that I have confirmed have been delivered to my farm. What this does is updates an order status in FAS for the office to see that you have confirmed that that order has been delivered. Again, you would need to submit that to save that submission and get that green success message. The survey report is a report where I can see what surveys have been submitted for this farm. For example, here's a barn environmental survey that was submitted along with a picture. You can submit pictures along with your survey responses. So not only does this survey response go back to the office through FAS, but I can also view those survey responses from FAS Mobile through the application and through this report. The treatment report is a report that shows any other treatments outside of feed grade medications that were recorded for the farm. So for example, this particular group has had a couple of treatments of Baytril documented. That is the farm level reports. We also have barn or group level reports. If we touch on the group or the barn and we touch on the menu icon, again, we can go into the reports menu. At this level, we have a couple of different reports available. The allocation report is the current status of the allocation sheet for the group that is associated to that barn. This tells the farm user where they're at in their feed budget. So if I'm this producer managing Farm 100, I know that we have no N4 left to go, and we are currently feeding F1, and I currently have 85,750 pounds of F1 to go before we switch over to F2. In the inventory report, I can see the details of all animal inventory events associated to this group in this barn, from placement through mortalities, through transfers, sales, any and every type, whether it was recorded through mobile or recorded at the office. And the survey report is similar. If there were surveys submitted at the group level, I would be able to review those survey submissions. This one didn't happen to have any. And then treatments report, if there were some specific treatments for this particular barn and group, that information would be available. To submit a survey, we simply click on the survey icon on either the farm menu ribbon or the barn group menu ribbon. And you're presented with the list of surveys that are available to be submitted. Today, I need to submit a water meter survey. This survey inquires, it is set up to ask me for water meter readings for all of my specific barns. So I'm going to put in some meter readings. And I can, if I choose to, upload a picture of the water meter to show that meter reading if that is required. When I select Submit, that has recorded that survey submission. That's how simple it is to record information either at the farm or group level through mobile survey. I'm going to come back here to the home screen. When I close out of FAS Mobile, I can just simply close the browser if this is my device, and it will remember who I am when I return. But if I'm using a public device, I do want to click on the main menu icon and actually choose Log Out so that no one can log in and submit information using my personal user profile. Occasionally, when there are browser application updates on a mobile device, a user can run into some issues with saved or cached browser pages on the device. If you're running into any issues with the use of FAS Mobile, there is an icon down here that says Reset App, and you simply click on that and it verifies that you want to reset your app. That clears any stored pages, stored versions on the mobile device of FAS Mobile, and then you simply log in again. All right, that was from a high level how to access and use FAS Mobile. Now what I'm going to do is go in and show you the results of those submissions from FAS Mobile in the FAS application. All right, here's the home screen in the FAS application, and whenever a new mobile event is submitted, this blue mobile events flag will display in FAS to notify the office users of the application that there are new mobile events to be reviewed and or processed. So they simply click on that icon, and that runs the mobile events report and displays the mobile events that have been submitted. There are various filters that can be used to filter out to particular types of events. But in most cases, if the users are keeping up on their mobile events daily, they will need to utilize that to filter out to different types of events. But it is possible. I'm going to go ahead and process this mobile feed order for that Bacon Hill farm that was submitted. Simply by clicking on the order, I can review all of the information about the order, and I do receive this green pass. What this is that FAS is pre-validating the order. If there are any issues that the user who's processing the mobile order is going to encounter during the process and approval of that order, those validation issues will be displayed here to the user, so they know in advance of trying to process the order whether they're going to have any validation issues. I'm going to go ahead and say I want to proceed with processing this event by clicking the Process Event icon. That populates the feed order form with the information from that mobile feed order. The delivery date of 4/20 has been populated into the form. The comments, need first in the morning, it's been populated, and the bin quantity or quantities are pre-populated. At this point, as the order desk user, since there are no validation messages that need to be addressed, I can just click Complete Order. That order is now sitting in pending orders, ready to be either sent by itself or grouped with another order into a load to be sent to the feed vendor. That's how quick and easy it is to process a mobile feed order that has been submitted through FAS Mobile. I'm also going to show you the process to process an animal inventory event, such as a mortality. Again, these events display here, so I just click on the event. I can review the information, and I'm just going to go ahead and click Process Event. When I click Process Event on an animal inventory event, it does ask me if I want to notify the user or not that that event has been processed. In most cases, unless you have a reason not to send notification to the user, our recommendation is to go ahead and select Notify User. What that does is that sends an email back to the farm based on the email address for that user's profile, giving them a confirmation that their mobile event was processed. All right, so just to recap, why should we use FAS Mobile? Use of FAS Mobile to capture information from the farm improves timeliness of information through real-time capture and display, reduces lost information due to lost papers, faxes, and messages, reduces errors related to retyping of information or misinterpretation of information, and gives you no more struggling to read someone's handwriting or hear someone on the other end of a phone when they're trying to call from within a barn or noisy environment, or having to read through dirty and smelly documents. We all know what that's like. All right, I'm going to open up, unmute everyone and open up the mics here for questions. And give me just a second. I'll get everyone unmuted. All right. Okay. We have everyone unmuted. Who has a question or a comment that they would like to talk about? All right. Who is using FAS Mobile today in their operation?
I am. We are.
We are.
Okay. Regina at Signature Tyson. Who was the second we are?
Janet Kerbers.
Janet Kerbers. Hi, Jan. How are you today?
Good.
Regina, in your opinion or your personal experience, what has the use of FAS Mobile helped you do?
It's speed. It's a lot quicker to, instead of worrying about putting in hand entering an order, especially, and entering DEDs. And also, like you said, the when people call in, the time consuming on that, and then if you do occasionally write down the wrong 12A, bin 1, bin 2, sometimes you write down the wrong bin number. I mean, you're human. So, yeah. So yes, I like the FAS Mobile.
Terrific. Jan, how has the use of FAS Mobile made a difference in your operation?
Pretty much the same thing. It's been streamlined for speed and interruptions from phone calls and ordering or miss somebody's order or something like that. And the accuracy has been big too.
Great. Great. All right. Hank, I see you guys on here. How has FAS Mobile helped Sunterra? Maybe she can't hear us. All right. Anyone else have any questions about how to set someone up for use with FAS Mobile, or how to roll it out, how to get people to use FAS Mobile? No? All right.
No, I don't.
All right. Well, thank you, Regina. All right. Well, if no one else has any additional questions, I will go ahead and end our recording, and we will get this recording posted up through our communication channels. And as usual, if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us at support@prairiesystems.net. Support@prairiesystems.net. That will get the attention of everyone in our support group, and someone will be able to help you through your questions. Thanks, everyone, for joining us, and thanks for your time, and hope everyone has a great afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
Hey, thank you. Bye-bye.